5,
5,
4,
4,
3,
3,
2,
2,
1.
1. Play the jingle. How long am I supposed to wait? Just silence.
Pete and Steven. Pete and Steven. Pete and Steven. Pete and Steven. This is Pete and Steve Waste Your Time.
How you doing, Pete?
I'm doing good. You know what, Steve? You know what I'm not good with, actually, Steven? Now that you asked.
Yeah.
Wet Christmas trees. So where I live, it is
That's
Christmas,
not fair.
or getting near Christmas.
Right.
Hold on a second. Did you have some other related story about wet Christmas trees?
I really do.
Hold on.
It's
There's been
kinda
a
sad.
confluence in the Matrix. Well, this is what I was going to say, because I don't have any back channeling of wet Christmas trees to really make.
Okay.
So somehow we've both kind of come up with wet Christmas trees on our own. So I'll start off with mine. It is nearly Christmas, and I've seen the people out here buying their Christmas trees, but they're doing it in the rain, Steven. And the thing that knocks my socks off about that is when you get your Christmas tree home, it's already a mess of fucking needles, right? Like, you're going to have to vacuum. You got all this shit about it. Could you imagine now all those needles being wet and it's dripping water everywhere? Something about that makes my body tense. Makes my brain tingle. Makes me unhappy and sad at the same times.
Like all fuzzy like an astronaut in the ocean.
That's right.
Fuck. Give me a second. I need to. I wasn't ready for that.
Boom, 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 boom.
All fuzzy like an astronaut in the ocean.
What you know about rolling down in the deep?
Anyways.
That's right. Exactly like that.
That's awful.
It seems awful to me.
Did you get a Christmas tree then?
We don't have a Christmas tree. I think primarily because it's been raining and we had the good sense to look at all those other people and go, that would be gross. That would be nasty.
Yeah, you don't want the cats all up in there.
No, and I mean, just like I've had it several times where you get a Christmas tree, and swear to God, like you find out how narrow your front doors are with Christmas trees. Because Christmas trees, even if you get a moderate size, none of them go through cleanly. You know what I mean? They all have to drag up along the side. They knock needles everywhere. But even then, you're bringing in a tree from outside. It's already losing a lot of needles. So all I'm saying is you have to prep for the cleanup that's coming after you set up your Christmas tree. And if that tree is holding on to water, I couldn't imagine it. Like, that just seems terrible to me. So you're either extremely brave or extremely stupid people out there buying Christmas trees in the rain.
That seems insane to me.
So,
I
dare I ask.
I like that.
Your experience with wet Christmas trees?
Yeah. So first off, I just would like to say that I think the idea of a fake tree now, I used to not be for it. And as I'm getting older and watching our environment light on fire and be destroyed, I'm starting to come around to the idea because it has this... It had this mentality before of like, why are we cutting down trees when we're talking about trying to save forests? So anyways, my mom has a fake tree that she bought last year. It was the first time she ever bought one.
Yeah,
it cost her about $400, but she kept it in a box outside that she thought was sealed.
Okay. Like a plastic tote or something?
On her birthday, she opened... like one of those bins you get from Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever.
Right, sure.
Those heavy duty ones.
So it should be waterproof.
Turns out this
one leaked. Or I would have assumed that's waterproof. Yeah. So this one leaked.
All of her other ones did. Yeah, so this one leaks and
that's bullshit.
Just destroyed the thing. But anyways, sad story. Long story short, I felt bad. It was on her birthday. Bought her a tree on the spot.
Fucking insult to injury. Not only is Christmas now suddenly in peril,
happy
but
birthday.
then on your own birthday too. So I mean, was it one of those like fiber optic ones that had like the lights already strung in it too?
I wouldn't call it fiber optic, but it definitely had the
Right.
light strung. It had flocking on there, so
Oh,
the fake
I see.
snow.
God damn it, what a
It was
shame.
really nice.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? I've
So,
sort of
anyways.
refined my opinion hearing this now. Maybe the trees and the needles and all that aren't the enemy. It's the goddamn rain.
It's
Just
the
get rid of
rain.
that. We don't need any fucking rain.
And that now. I need
And
to
that
stop
now.
doing the rain dancing.
And the rain. Oh, look, everyone agrees with this. Yeah, no problem. Top of our agenda
Yeah.
for the 2024 election. No more rain. Ever.
No more rain.
I'm going to start ranting, or I'll come in and be like, you know what really grinds my gears, Steve? Rain!
What? Rain.
But I think about this in the same way I think of snow. Rain is okay. I like the rain. I live, near Seattle. I must be okay with sort of the rain thing.
It kind of have
Snow is very polarizing. Because snow, absolutely gorgeous. It really is beautiful to
Right.
look at. It's you have the snow coming down. It's beautiful to look at when it's freshly on the ground. It's beautiful to look at. Even like say ice. If the roads freeze up, it's all very pretty. No doubt about it. But you have to like walk on it and drive on it. So living in it is a totally different fucking story. So I've sort of become maybe I'm starting to think the same way about rain in a non-ironic sense because I already have shitty eyesight. I already have astigmatism. When it's raining really heavily and you're fighting like the rain off your windshield and all the lights are on, say it's at night and it's just reflections, you can't see shit. It's pretty terrible.
It really is. I think rain's worse than fog in that way.
Yeah. Yeah, at least you can
You
kind
just
of
got these wipers going.
Yeah, you just get the wipers going. But the weird thing, I mean, fog kind of sucks too now that I think about it. You know what, Steve? Weather. Weather's my problem here. We don't
But
get
what
a ton
about
of
the
snow.
seasons?
The seasons. Well, see, the seasons are what we like, and the weather kind of going with it. If it wouldn't be the seasons without the weather, but just
Yeah,
frankly,
you got
I
a
mean,
point there.
weather is just frankly, it's too much to deal with. I mean, the only way to solve this, honestly, no more rain.
No more rain.
I'm starting to think literally.
Meanwhile,
what if
while we're at it,
they put us in charge of
Wait,
a
what?
Star
Were you gonna
Trek
say
show.
literal?
Yeah, they're gonna put us in charge of a Star Trek show once. For write it down, we're gonna be like, whatever captain we've got.
gonna be
I can't do
alert
Picard, but
constantly.
you got Captain Picard have been like, oh, what's the big danger for this episode? We'll be like, weather. Go to red alert number 2. Just some rain.
they can't get through the asteroid field because it's astral raining.
Yeah, we've never had lower ratings on this show. I just wanted you guys to know that. That's what they'll say to us. And we'll be like, we've never been on TV, so it's never been better.
It's your fault for hiring us at this point.
Why would you pay?
Idiots.
So anyways.
Oh, man.
Well, wet trees aside.
The
how
holiday
was your
season
week?
brings a lot of stuff,
Yeah, it does. It does.
It was okay. Between hypochondria and kids getting me things that I told them not to get me out of spite, it's been a good week.
What did they get you?
You know, well, I sent an email out, and I kind of, this is the first year I've done this because I feel
Okay.
like it's kind of a dick move, but I sent an email out saying, please no treats for me. I'm on a diet,
'cause
and
you're
if you
dieting.
want to, and if you want to give me something nice, just a card
Sure.
with your name on it is fine.
Right.
I don't need anything else. And kids are baking like extra this year.
You fucking dick.
And like the 8th graders and 7th graders know my tricks now.
Right.
Where they know if somebody gives me a baked good, the next period I'll take a nibble and then I'll give it away to other people.
So they just
So now the kids know that.
spread it out
And so
across
they'll
multiple
they
days.
want to watch me eat it.
Oh,
They want
you
to watch
son of
me
a
eat it. They'll be like, "Oh, here you go, Mr. Wood." I'm like, "Oh, thanks. I'll put it to the side." They're like, "No, why don't you eat it?"
God
No,
damn,
I don't.
why
I
am
don't
I
want to eat the food, Mr. Wood.
I'm getting
the
flashbacks to
food.
Training
And I'm
Day
just
where he
being
forces
bullied.
him to smoke angel dust just so that he can use it against him later.
It's like,
Are you gonna eat
it's
that?
like, I'll eat it later. And they're like, you're gonna eat that right now, Mr. Wood. How do you
Take a
like
bite.
it? I'm like, it's good. And she goes, yeah, why don't you eat some more? Why don't you eat some more, Mr. Wood? I don't want to eat anymore, please.
My mom
Eat some
spent
more, Mr.
4
Wood.
hours making that for you. Oh.
And then to make it worse is one kid brought like Toblerone, but they didn't bring like one thing of it. They brought a box of like 8 of them.
Right.
Here you go, Mr. Wood. Like, what do you
8
want me to do with
Toblerones.
this?
Shit, man, that's like $30 or $40 now. That kid really wants to fuck with you.
That's the whole Swiss Alps right there.
That's all Swiss Alps.
They milked the chocolate right out of the cows.
Yeah.
So that was happening. But then on the hypochondriac side, I got this weird like bump thing under my right rib, and of course, I just immediately thought cancer.
Right.
Then I found out that it wouldn't hurt if it was cancer, so I'm like, okay, that's good. And now
Really?
I was starting to wonder, like, maybe I got a hernia from all the coughing.
It could be something like that. You want to hear something that was kind of funny? So I had appendicitis, right? And they do like the full body scan to help you determine it, like multiple X-rays, a CT scan, all this different shit to figure it out. On the notes for my diagnosis, it also said some sort of minor hernia, and I was just like, that's not getting any fucking attention now. So if it is a hernia, if you have one like I had one, it'll just go away. But 2 things. I didn't know cancer didn't hurt. It's like a tumor. It doesn't have sensation like that.
Well, according to WebMD, the only time to worry about it is if it's hard, you can't move it around, and there's 0 pain. Like if there's no pain, it's just like a rock in your body. They're like, yeah, that's when you gotta get checked. Which is so much weirder, right? Like because pain's what you usually want to check, and the fact that like, oh yeah, if you have some weird bump that's not going away and it feels like a big old like stone in your body, that's what you want to get checked. I'm like,
that is interesting. I had no fucking idea.
Yeah,
that's really fucking.
No, I'm not a doctor, but that is what WebMD said.
Yeah.
So,
but I suppose
disclaimer, everybody.
Yeah, I'm not a doctor. Don't listen to me.
Yeah, I mean, real quick.
What is it spicy?
It's Spicy Steve. Steve brings the heat. He doesn't give a fuck.
I'm not a doctor.
Spicy.
He didn't give a rat's left squirrel.
I do love our regular segments. There's just so much fun with that.
They make this show everything.
I mean, I actually learned something. Usually I'm the don't you know kind of guy, but you brought it in this time. And, you know, I feel a little bit, whatchamacallit, a little bit jealous.
I
But
feel
I
like
get
next
it.
time I need to send you that info, and I will
Send it to me.
I'll learn.
Just lean into it. Did you know, Steve, if the bump doesn't hurt, it's not cancer? You'd be like, oh, God, Peter, that's so great.
Now you know.
Yeah. Talking about a
But
regular
other than that, it's been
segments.
good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But otherwise, just hernia thinking. It could be from the coughing. You were coughing pretty good. We got it on
I
tape.
was, so it might be that, or it might just be a bump. Might just be a hurt bump. So
Yeah.
who knows?
We'll figure it out
I'm
sooner
gonna
or
wait.
later.
I have an appointment with my doctor anyways next week. It's like a checkup from something that was on my neck,
Yeah.
and
It's actually
I'm just all sorts of crazy.
all sorts of crazy. See, I ended up at the doctor this week too, weirdly enough. I ended up going for a physical for certain things. Been having trouble sort of sleeping, but it turns out that's probably related to seasonal depression, which all of us have, which is seasonal depression. But so I went and there's a few things to unpack from this that I thought were funny. But the first thing was when you sign up for the thing online. So I got Kaiser. So there's you kind of tell them what you're coming in for early. You don't show up and doc's like, hey, what's going on, kind of thing. So I put in, I wanted a physical, and part of that was true. I wanted to do like blood labs and shit. It's been years since I did any of that crap.
Right.
But I put on the visit notes when I signed up for it online. I said, to depression, anxiety, seasonal shit, check with the doc. So when I do end up seeing the doctor, the first thing she says is, well, I noticed you have a physical. And I'm like, yeah, I haven't been in for a long time, but I also thought I'd come in because I'm having seasonal depression kind of shit. And she goes, yeah, but why didn't you put like depression, anxiety down on your thing? Why'd you put a physical? And I was just like, because I was already going to be in here for one thing. So I had this moment where I was like, seriously? Like, if you're going to get mad at me because it's not coded right? Like, I'm here. I'm not coming back next week for the physical. I want to do it all at once. So let's just do it.
It's like you came in there and you're like, can I just do everything right now? They're like, how about the paperwork?
Oh God, I'm gonna have to put you down for another appointment. It's just like, okay. So I thought that was a little bit weird. But there's one thing.
Just show you the box. You see this box you checked, this box you didn't check.
Yeah, nope, can't help
your
you.
Option.
Sorry,
So
don't even talk about it. Don't even talk about it, or you'll be asked.
Very Japan medical system right there.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh, we could start talking about that. Let's just call this the medical episode then. So. The thing about my doctor's appointments, the one thing I always worry about is blood pressure. And part of the thing is I get a little bit anxious about my blood pressure because it's gone up and down. It goes up and down with my weight, which I've gone up and down with my whole life. But it was up this time when I was at the doctor's, and it was just like, okay. But here's the thing about blood pressure. I'm not writing it off. For anybody out there listening that's just like, this guy's an idiot, I'm not writing that shit off. I'm dealing with it. I need to walk, basically. Eat better, which I was doing before Japan, and then walk and exercise, things like that. Got it. Check. My thing is, they literally will tell you during blood pressure readings, if you don't relax, it's going to make the reading wrong, right? They're literally squeezing your arm as hard as they fucking can, and then looking at you and being like, well, why can't you relax? I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? What do you mean?
Right.
What do you mean relax? And there's never a position I've ever had where my arm has been relaxed while doing my blood pressure. And that's purely down to the fact that they are squeezing it. But even this doctor, like I had my arm like laid flat like you normally do, but there's no like good spot for it. It's just I'm sitting in a chair next to a desk, and they're just like, well, relax your shoulders. And I'm like, my shoulder isn't relaxed because my arm is in an awkward position. You know what I mean? And so I'm always 100%. Just like, just crazy.
It must be made for people in between you and my height, because for me it's always a little too short. Or I'm a little too short, so my arm's like lifted up. Sure. So for you it must be the opposite. You must be like leaning downwards or something.
Yeah, it's like my whole arm is balanced on my wrist, so that's uncomfortable. Then they put the fucking thing on you, which grabs the shit out of your arm, and that's uncomfortable. And then just even the self-service machines, which are built to like lay your arm out, they're not exactly comfortable. So you get too caught up. So and that feeds the anxiety, because I'm just like, oh shit, my reading's gonna be worse now that they're checking it again, because now I'm concerned about it. But it's also just it's fucking nuts. It's one of those things. It's like when the dentist tries to talk to you or have a conversation with you, it's like, there's all this shit in my mouth right now. That's not going to happen, man. I want to be friendly. I am friendly. We can chat, but you're going to have to kind of pose your questions and then give me the 10 seconds to answer, because I can't make it work.
Your hands out of my mouth before you expect me to say anything, please.
Yeah, God.
Unless I'm going to swallow your hand again.
But after Japan, see, this didn't make the Japan episode, but it's probably the best story from our time in Japan. I think our medical system, as stupid as some of the shit can be, makes so much more sense having now had to try and find a doctor in Japan. So,
oh my God, that was so difficult. Just an urgent care. And Steve hit it on the head. The point being was, when we were there, one of the people we were traveling with had an ear infection. And you can't just ignore an ear infection. It's going to get worse. It could really fuck up your hearing. So it wasn't like a whole, just ignore it, it'll go away. Or even, because you need antibiotics, you can't just like go to the store. And don't get me wrong, I tried to. I was like, you don't like whatever, and they were like, but my ear hurts. I'm like, I can't hear you.
Sorry.
Vacation.
No, it got really funny.
There. Like she was still had an earache.
Yeah, she was still there and had an earache. As much as you try to wish it away, it just didn't happen.
I was like, I don't want to acknowledge it.
From our travel partner was when she said, well, I'll give it till tomorrow and see if it gets better. It's like, well, where are you at right now? Well, I can't hear out of that ear. And I'm just like, I think that's the point where we want to probably be more concerned. But
yeah. There's not coming back from that part.
There's so many layers to this fucking story. But long story short, as short as we can be, we ended up going, 3 3 different places, plus a phone call to another place. So in essence, we visited 4 different places to try and find a doctor. And the answer was we are in Kyoto on a Saturday, and all the doctors are busy. And not just all the doctors, but the people that specialize in ears, in ENT. And Steve hit it on the head first, because in the American system, the specialist is the one you see absolutely last. They're the most expensive. You don't need really them to diagnose normal other problems. So you have generalists, and your GPs are the ones that look at you and go, yeah, your ear's infected. Like, you could diagnose an ear infection if you had a scope. You just also can't write a prescription. But in the Japanese system, they want to send you straight to an ENT. And so we scrambled around in Kyoto trying to find the one ENT who was on during the weekend. And though we eventually succeeded, it was a pain in the ass doing that. And then one of the hospitals we visited gave me COVID, so that was great. But the highlight of the whole story is we were literally right next to a hospital. We were literally right next to an emergency room. We're all outside Googling, Japanese emergency rooms, and they're saying, oh, it's their closest equivalent to an urgent care. So yada, yada, yada. If you have an issue, go to the emergency room. And so we did, and they say, no, we can't see you because the ENT's not here. Here's a website, find a place that can see you. The first one on the list is the place we were at. It's like, where the fuck are you guys trying to send us then?
I like to think that the Japanese must have an app that has these doctors on there, and it just tracks their location, because they must go place to place. Like, that's all I can figure. It's like certain days they're here, certain days they're there.
Yeah, and that's just the thing. I mean, ultimately, that's how we got to see a doctor. Someone just helpfully kind of tracked one down at the right time in the right place. Not without its drama, not without having, cavorted around the city several times. Like, we went through Kyoto Station like 5 times. We kept changing sides.
Oh, easily.
Basically. But long story short, it was insane. And we even got to the point where we're just like, I'm just going to put you on Kaiser chat, and we'll see if they can write a prescription that a Japanese pharmacy will take. If it's this hard to find one doctor. Like, that's the real dichotomy. Maybe access to medicine out here is too sort of open, but that's certainly too sort of restricted. But I could get on an e-chat with someone. No one would have to see me. I would say, my ear hurts, I can't hear, and I have drainage from my ear. And they'd be like, that's an ear infection. I will send your prescription, having never seen you, to the pharmacy right now. And you can go down there in 20 minutes and grab it. But in Japan, you have to track down the one doctor. So, I mean, the lesson really is, let's go back to our Tokyo or Japan episode, our travel tips. Just don't get sick in Kyoto on the weekend, because there are no doctors. It would be better to die. It would be easier just to drop dead.
Go ahead and just take a break from being sick for those weekends. Then you can be sick on the weekdays.
Yeah.
Easier.
My favorite there. Yeah, I was on the phone with that one guy, and he ultimately helped us. He found the doctor and got us there sort of right time, right place, right? But he even goes, well, just understand it's the weekend, so none of the doctors are on. And I was like, what the fuck do you mean there's no doctors working? You guys just decide. But but he just straight up asked me, he's like, well, is this something you can endure? And I said, I can't. Well, I was talking for our friend, but I was the one on the phone, and I just said, I can't hear. Like, I'm not going to ignore being basically deaf on one side of my head for the sake of endurance.
That's really dangerous.
So, like, it was fun.
It was bizarre.
In retrospect.
The idea, I guess we're spoiled, with urgent cares, where you could go in there and a nurse practitioner or like a general doctor could come in and just kind of do it. Most things. I mean, very rare. In fact, my doctor won't see me if I have symptoms of anything.
Yeah, no. And especially with COVID, they don't really want you to go in. Like, they launched all this shit to do like e-visits now, where they do kind of want to see you. But at the same time, if you were telling them you had an ear infection, they're going to kind of have to take your word for it. But that's been one of my things I've never really understood about antibiotics in this country. They have to be prescribed. And I get what they're probably putting a check on is you taking something that's going to interact with something else, right? Like, you could get an antibiotic that makes you sicker, or it's not going to treat what you're looking at, and all of those things aren't great. But why do I really need a prescription for that? Like, you can't really OD antibiotics. You can't get hooked on them. They really give you no high or no benefit. The best they do is they fight some sort of infection in your body. So, what's the big deal?
I think it's only to regulate, because if we take it too much, then it won't work for us,
Yeah, it
and then we
must be-
make superbugs.
Yeah, it must be something like that. I think that, and they'd be concerned if it wasn't going to do what they wanted it to do, and so your issue just kept persisting and got worse. So what they're really trying to do is targeting. They're saying this is what's going to work, this isn't going to work. So they lock it up. But
I'm wondering if maybe it's based on location too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm wondering if during a certain season they only use a specific kind of antibiotics so that that bug dies, but then when they have it come again, they use a different one. I don't know.
Yeah, different strains.
Guess we should-
I don't know, man. Long story short, don't get sick in fucking Japan.
Don't do it.
The best thing you can do is just stay healthy. We were pounding vitamin C, man, and so
That's
Japan
good, too.
has
That's sour.
huge selection of vitamin C supplements and drinks. Am I right? And they're usually like front and center of most of the convenience stores. So
Yeah, very, very preemptive. It was nice.
what a fun time. It was just plumb wild.
What a fun plum wild. My doctor, I'm the youngest patient she has by 40 years. I found out.
Well, you're the easy one then, because old people got all sorts of problems.
I feel like sometimes she treats me that way too. Like, you're fine, go home. And I'm like, but it hurts. Something's weird. Fix me. And she'll usually just be like, I guess this is an issue. Like, I think she's so used to treating things, and I'm going in there being like, let's do preemptive stuff. I'm challenging her.
Yep.
She's like, can you just find like a young doctor that cares about this shit?
She comes in and she's like,
I love her,
like,
she's so dry humored.
Yeah, I just feel like you go in and you're just like, my knee hurts. Could we do a knee replacement? And he'll be like, Mrs. McGillicuddy, who I just saw, is more machine than man. Like, you're good. You're fine. She's got someone in an iron lung around the corner. Been like, you can breathe on your own? That's great. Get the fuck out of here.
I know I thought she comes in and like punches me. She goes, that hurt? Good, you can still feel. Get out.
That's fine. Out.
You're done. Yeah. Like I know she'd probably think I'm the weirdest dude because I come in there like, I think I have this. And she goes, you don't have that. And she just goes through and pokes and prods.
Pokes and prods. You know, now that you say that, during my physical, the lady was like, she was feeling up my side, like where my appendix was. And I never really asked, but, you know, she said, I'm just going to feel your abdominal cavity kind of thing. And I was just like, but there's nothing there. She's like, yep, it's empty. I'm like, yeah, yep, that's right.
Somebody's a hungry boy, got an empty tummy.
Yeah.
Part of me kind of wants to do that now. Like, instead of going to this old person doctor, find like a pediatrician.
Oh, God. And just watch them. They'll be like, here comes the play. He's going to take your medicine.
Here comes the shop.
You like grape or cherry flavor?
God.
Yeah. Oh, man. Medicine.
Winter is arriving.
Winter is incipient.
On its way is winter.
To begin soon. Winter.
Here comes winter.
Here's winter.
My name is Steve.
And my name is Pete. And this was PnS. Waste your time.
PnS. Waste your time.
Time.
PNS Waste Your Time is a production of Pete and Steve. All characters and events in the show are entirely fictional, and any resemblance to any real people are entirely coincidental.
Well, like, what I'm trying to say is...
Thanks!